2020 has been a strange year, a year riddled with unavoidable game delays due to the coronavirus. But it's also been a year filled with some incredible games. So now we're a little more than halfway through 2020, myself and fellow YouTuber Capture Reviews are going to be running down the top 10 highest rated games of 2020 so far. For this list we use Metacritic's aggregate scores and only included brand new 2020 releases, ignoring any straight ports of older games.
Starting off this list at number 10 is Final Fantasy VII Remake. With a respectable metascore of 87, this JRPG made a number of changes to the story and expands upon many of the original's early plot points. Since Final Fantasy VII first released on the PS1, the visuals have obviously seen a vast improvement, and the real-time combat system is something many critics loved. You'll travel through an intimate, more detailed storyline of the original's Midgar segment that features somber moments that will make this adventure all the more emotional. This game's reinterpreted story was quite the gamble, but clearly many critics agreed that it paid off tremendously. The stunning visuals, top-tier soundtrack, and the improved gripping story were just enough to squeak this game into the top 10.
Coming in at number 9 is Doom Eternal, which is gorier, faster paced, and more refined than its predecessor, scoring an average of 88 on Metacritic across the PS4, Xbox One and PC. Once again you don the boots of the Doomslayer as he is tasked with ridding the earth of Hell's demons, which have now taken it over. With killing demons being your primary way of recovering health, you are constantly pushed to keep engaging enemies, and with more movement options than before, each encounter is an adrenaline rush that keeps you on your toes, especially when paired with the incredible heavy metal soundtrack that really gets your blood pumping. Doom Eternal is a great sequel by id Software that, provided you aren't too squeamish, is definitely a game you want to make sure you check out.
Racing into 8th place on this list is F1 2020, the latest entry into the Formula 1 racing games, which from release has been hailed as the greatest F1 game to date. With an average metascore of 88, F1 2020 has impressed fans and critics alike with its new feature, My Team. My Team allows you to create your own F1 team to race against the current teams in Formula 1, and F1 2020 brought back the split screen function, allowing for more accessibility and opportunities for others to play. This, combined with the ever-realistic looking models, immersive sound, and solid controls, all add up to a game that has made a big splash in the sports genre. F1 2020 has only been out for just over a week, but it is sure to see continued success moving forward.
Moving on to number 7, and we have Dreams, the next quirky creative game by Media Molecule, the developers of Little Big Planet. Dreams pulled in a fantastic average Metascore of 89, giving you the freedom to create your own game without any coding knowledge at all, and with a wealth of tools at your disposal, your imagination really is the limit to what you can achieve. Even if you aren't the creative type, you can jump into the ever-growing list of games people have uploaded, giving you an almost unlimited supply of new content to dive into and have fun with. With VR support about to be added, the game is only getting better, and in an industry where developers often pump out overly similar and generic titles, Dreams is a breath of fresh air that will keep you entertained for hours.
At number 6 is Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition. The incredibly popular JRPG saw a remaster this year, and it was met with plenty of praise, scoring an average of 89 on Metacritic, just like the previous game. With its expansive world, engaging combat system, and new epilogue to the original story, Xenoblade Definitive Edition is a must-have for any Switch owner. All of the visuals have been spruced up in HD thanks to the Switch's more powerful hardware, so you'll see a more expressive and lively Shulk, and a world that truly pops out of your screen. Along with this, the already phenomenal soundtrack has been remastered and is definitely worth listening to. This massive game that is full of content is all crammed into a tiny cartridge that can be taken on the go, which is ridiculously impressive. This is Xenoblade like we've never seen it before, and it's rightfully earned its spot on this list.
Number 5 goes to Ori and the Will of the Wisps, the long-awaited follow-up to the 2015 original that, alongside the last 2 entries, also scored a whopping average Metascore of 89. Will of the Wisps has a truly great art style that is bursting with colour and charm from every seam, looking especially jaw-dropping when played on a 4K HDR TV. Gameplay-wise, it's better than ever, with a revamped combat system that gives you more variety in how you tackle enemies, and a progression system that offers you more control in how you want Ori to play. Despite its colourful visuals, Its story is surprisingly somber, providing plenty of sad, heart-wrenching moments that will be sure to leave a lasting impression on you long after the credits have rolled.
At number 4 is Animal Crossing New Horizons. New Horizons changes up its series' old formula by having the player start out on a deserted island rather than joining an already developed town. This game was originally planned for release last year, but saw a delay and was pushed back to March of 2020. This delay clearly did not impact the critics' reception of this game, however, as it received a very high Metascore of 90. It also sold over 5 million physical copies in Japan alone in the first few months. This time-killing life simulator released just as the current pandemic began, giving players an escape to an idyllic island that they were able to make their own and leading to very positive public reception.
And number 3 is Half-Life Alyx, the first new entry in the Half-Life series in over a decade, scoring an impressive Metascore of 93. Half-Life Alyx is different from the rest of the games on this list as it's a PC-only VR title. However, it does a fantastic job of showing what VR is capable of, with smooth, immersive controls that add to the gameplay rather than hinder it, and graphics that don't look too far behind a traditional, standard console game. While it's no Half-Life 3, it's revitalized a series many fans had given up on ever seeing again, and at least based on its ending, hints a true sequel will happen in the future.
Number 2 on this list is The Last of Us Part 2, Naughty Dog's massive follow-up to their incredibly successful game on the PlayStation 3. This game has been shrouded in controversy leading up to its release, but has still received an incredible Metascore of 94. However, at the time of recording this, the user score for this game sits at a mediocre 5.5. While the general opinion is that this game looks, plays, and sounds even better than the previous entry, the drastic difference in scores is primarily attributed to some decisions made regarding the plot and storyline of the game, with a subset of fans not being happy with Naughty Dog's decisions. That said, the game still received an enormous amount of praise for its beautiful visuals, incredible music, and solid gameplay mechanics. The Last of Us Part 2 improved upon the already great features of the previous entry, and sold over 4 million copies within the first few days of release, becoming the fastest-selling PlayStation 4 exclusive to date.
Finally, that leads us to the highest rated game of 2020 so far, with an extremely high Metascore of 95, Persona 5 Royal. The original Persona 5 released in 2017, with it being many people's best game of that year. And while Royal reuses a lot of its content, it adds, changes and polishes so much that it impressed gamers and critics all over again. Boasting well over 100 hours of content, a great mix of social elements and turn-based combat, ridiculously stylish visuals and gripping characters, it's not difficult to see why Persona 5 Royal has garnered such praise. New arrivals Kasumi and Takuto Maruki add plenty to the story, especially in the brand new third semester, and all the extra quality of life features make it a joy to replay. Even if you have just a passing interest in JRPGs, this is absolutely a game you shouldn't ignore.
Hey everybody! I go by Capture Reviews, and I have a YouTube channel of my own where I make lighthearted and comedic reviews of video games. If that interests you, come check it out. I'd love to have you. Thank you so much to Project Gamer for hosting me, and thank you all for watching. We'll see you next time.